Welcome to Guitar Technique episode 11. In this episode, our technical focus will be upon string bending. If you haven't spent a lot of time on learning to bend guitar strings into specific pitch distances, then this lesson plan is going to go a long way toward helping you gain a really solid approach with using the technique. Now, in this lesson, we're going to cover general ideas you'll want to use when bending notes on the upper three guitar strings. We're going to run through half step, full step, and 1.5 step bends. I'll have a section on bending notes with other fingers such as the first, second, or even the fourth. Plus, I'll explain the technique of the crying bend. It's also sometimes called a pre-bend release, and I'll even have some exercises on doing double note bending. That's also referred to quite often as chordal bending. So let's get things started by covering the basic bending approach and the common string bend distances. In getting started, let's go through what's going on in terms of understanding how to grip at the guitar neck and really utilize your hand ideas on the fingerboard. There's some hooking that you want to do with your thumb for leverage and balance, and most times when you're bending, you're going to want to be using multiple fingers on your fretboard hand to be able to push the notes up higher. Now, ideas that we want to really think of too also operate around muting, because the more that you can cover with your heel of your hand, when you're dealing with the unwanted noise that you want to mute, the better it's going to be for your sound overall. So a couple things, when we first get into a note, I know that in exercise 1, exercise 1A to be specific, we've got this third finger idea pushing a step and a half higher from the 12th fret note on the second string. Now, in order to do that, you're going to want to know what that distance sounds like. So going up a step and a half takes you to the 15th fret note. It's a D, and the 12th fret note is a B. So what we're doing is we're pushing the B so it sounds up at the pitch level of the high D. So in practicing the direction and the distance of that bend, you're going to want to be very clear in your mind of what that sound is, and then you can begin pushing towards it. And you want to be very accurate when you make that bend up into that particular pitch. We want that D sound from that 15th fret of second string. So be very accurate with what you're doing in terms of the bending of that. Now, that's exercise 1A. That's our step and a half. We're going to drop things a little lower now because in exercise 1B, we're going to be doing a full step only. That's 2 frets. That's taking the B sound up to from the 12th fret to the 14th fret, which is a C sharp. So to be able to get it there, you want to be accurate again. Test it. Make sure the accuracy is there for the distance. And, all the other things are holding true as well. And notice I got the hook of the thumb over the neck for more leverage, and I'm using multiple fingers when I do that bend. And then also, with this hand, I am muting a little bit down off those low strings with the thumb hooking over, and I've got some of the pad of the finger of each of the fingers that I'm using, so I have all three, index, middle, and ring, that are there, and I'm getting those to be able to mute on that first string, so I'm covering that string up, and I would be doing the same if I happened to be on third string. I'd have it down a little bit, so I'm covering up some of the sound of the second and first. But the idea is you're going to be, using that in conjunction with what's happening on the heel of the hand, lightly touching on some of these strings that you don't want any unwanted noise coming out of either. So remember, those two sidebar concepts that we're dealing with in the world of bending are going to be the hooking and the multiple fingers, and of course muting that are happening. The multiple fingers just gives you more leverage with the bend, because it's going to make you have a lot more grip into the fingerboard, and that's going to be helping when you want to judge those distances on those bends. Now, so far we've done example 1A, which is the step and a half. Then we're going to also we also looked at example 1B, which is the whole step or full step. And then the next one that we're going to be doing is the half step bend. So that's just going to be a semitone, moving into that 13th fret of that second string. And all of these are going to be judgment calls that you're going to have to get used to bending around to be able to get the good concrete distance and the flow of the bend that it actually makes the accurate note that we need in the piece. There's that old saying, and I'm not sure if it was B.B. King. I think it was B.B. King who said, bending a note to a wrong note is still a wrong note. I think it was B.B. King that said it, but I could be off on that quote. But it's a fantastic thing to remember. You don't want to be soloing, bending into really wrong notes, and then you're going to have an out of tune sound happening against and it's just, you're going to be all out of color. It'll be out of the key center and everything. So watch out for that. But, this is very important stuff, what we've covered here in exercise 1. And I need you to, spend some good time. You can even, before you wrap up exercise 1, maybe even try going through a bit of a lick or something, So there, I did a little scale line, and then I came around to this 12th fret note that we were working off of, and I did a half step sound. And you could do some other work with that, maybe, start targeting even higher, try and do that step and a half sound. Do some experimenting, but, add it into some licks as quickly as possible, because that's going to really make these things, fit into some real world, situations for you. Okay, so anyway, that wraps up exercise 1. We'll take a short break and come back in the next video clip with some new ideas centered in exercise 2 around use of other fingers. We're going to look at first finger, second finger, and the fourth finger as well. That was an excerpt from the 11th lesson of my guitar technique course. The remainder of this lesson is available behind a paywall on my website at creativeguitarstudio.com, along with the previous classes, but I thought you'd like to see this part, so I put it here on YouTube for you to get a better idea about what this guitar technique course has to offer. If you want to subscribe to my website and gain access to this course, along with my introductory, intermediate, and advanced guitar programs, plus many other guitar courses on the website, just head over to Creative Guitar Studio and sign up for your initial general free lifetime membership to get started. There's no fees involved with that. All you need to do is set up a username and a password. Then at any point in time afterwards, you can always upgrade into either a monthly, or you could unlock everything on the website with the discounted yearly premium membership plan. If you have any questions, you could reach me either by phone or email. Just click on the link in the YouTube description box under where it says Become a Member today. The Creative Guitar Studio Introductory Guitar Program is a comprehensive 10-lesson system with over 90 pages of material designed to take the most basic guitar student up to an intermediate level of playing. It includes all of the most important open position chords, foundational music theory, and music reading exercises. Plus, every lesson has a detailed answer key to help you correctly understand the material as you study at home. From reading music notation to guitar theory to chords and rhythm guitar, the Introductory Guitar Program will give you the foundation that you need to move up to the next level of playing. The Introductory Guitar Program is available for instant download in the View Our Products area at creativeguitarstudio.com. Thanks for watching part 1 of the lesson. Be sure to sign up for a membership at creativeguitarstudio.com to watch the rest of these videos. Coming up next, we're going to work on bending with other fingers, the pre-bend, release, and chordal bending. Plus, as a member, you'll also be able to download the handout for this lesson, along with many more professional guitar lessons. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch up next in the members area.